Good morning and welcome back to another week of Talking Technical. And before we kick off, we just want to say welcome to all the new Candle of the Day and the Cares van die Dag subscribers. It's all people that wants to commit themselves to training and see if they can learn more about the charts. And some of them really wants to get involved with charts to see if they can make a success of it. And the more and more I speak to people about it, they say, I want to do something on my own. I don't just want to give my money to a fund manager. Yes, I know I'm going to be wrong for a while, and I'm happy to learn and teach myself, and then eventually maybe pick some winners. And my suggestion always is start with very small money, dabble into the markets, get the nick of it, and it takes time. On the other hand, we've got a few speculation members. In actual fact, I checked the other day, there's members on that group for more than 25 years. We've been friends for so many years, and they like the signals, and rarely they ask a question. Most of the questions comes from somebody that wants to hedge themselves against their big portfolio, maybe in a money market or a unit trust fund. But they like to trade a little bit. They are, I can almost say, groomed traders. And it's so nice to have them on the group. And what did they do? They started many years ago. They teach themselves, they learned, they saw the candle of the day, they checked the speculation view in the mornings, and then when they get the SMS or the email, they go to their charts, they see what I see, and then often they ask me, right in the beginning, listen, Frans, I don't even see this head and shoulder or any formation that you're talking about. Please just assist me, and then I can assist them gladly. And sometimes they ask Christelle about the platform, and then Christelle can assist them. But I had a request this week, and the person said to me, please show me how a cup and handle formation looks like. Now, he asked about the British pound against the rand, and the beauty is he says to me, listen, I want a 5-year view, and the first thing when I hear 5-year view, in my mind, it says clearly, you go to a weekly chart. Now, if you look at this, this is the British pound against the rand. Can you believe it? In June 2022, it was 18.68 rand, and now it's trading around 23.92 rand. And he's planning to take even more rands and switch them into the British pound. Now, if I look at this chart, the first thing I want to show him is the cup and handle, the inverse cup and handle formation that we're seeing here. And there you are. There is the handle, and there's the cup. And now you've got either one of two things. Either it's just going to break up above this resistance line, or you can probably see maybe in time to come a right shoulder developing here, and then you see a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. So a cup and handle, inverse cup and handle, often they call it an inverse because it breaks up to the top. I just call it a normal cup and handle, but the cup and handle usually tells you in a case where the rand is involved, a weakening rand to come. Why? Because the rand is a smaller currency, a weaker currency to the dollar. And interesting enough, that's why we always use the stronger currency as the leading indicator. There you are, British pound to the rand. You never put down rand to the British pound. You always put in British pound to the rand, because then you can see what is happening at this point in time, and it's just easier to get levels from it. So there you are. There's the handle, there's the cup, and now we need to see if it's going to give a right shoulder or if it will give just a break to the top, and that level is 24.42. And there you are. That is a cup and handle. I hope you do get it. And of always, I've got this old reliable 40-week moving average sitting at, there you are, 23.60. And while that is a support, it tells you that the rand can weaken. But what is the ugly part here? The ugly part here is, if it breaks to the top, there's my conservative target. And oh boy, I hope I'm wrong. there's the full target. And how do I get to that full target? Someone asked me the other day, Frans, you sometimes so quick on YouTube that I cannot get it. Let I just show you, where do I get this projection from? And there you are. That is from the, let's call it the bottom or the head to the neckline, or the bottom of this cup and handle. There's the bottom of the cup, and you do the projection exactly the same space, and there you are. It can maybe come back a little bit. There's your target, let's say around 25.80. So that's where you get it. Even with the conservative target, it's always from the bottom of that, let's call it cup, the handle of the cup, sorry, back to the neckline, and then up you go. So that's how you get that that target there. But for me, if you look at this chart, while it's above the 40-week moving average, we've got a weakening trend in the rand against the British pound. And I will only turn a little bit positive because there's some interesting stuff happening. I mean, I looked at the rand dollar chart this weekend, and suddenly I saw a head and shoulder that can maybe help the rand to support. I mean, to strengthen. I was surprised about it. But at this point in time, if you look at the British pound and you compare that, there you are. There's the cup. Sorry, there's the handle. There's the big cup. But I wonder if we're not going to see a right shoulder developing here, and then maybe the break to the upside. But there you are. That is a proper cup and handle formation, usually a weakening formation in the rand. But maybe if it happens into a share, it is sometimes a share that can maybe a little bit strengthen. And why I just discussed it, now you know that the rand is a weaker currency against the pound. That's where we always use the noun pound before the rand. Let's have a look at Old Mutual. I mean, this is this financial company, not just doing policies. They're quite involved with many financial aspects in life. And it's almost like this share is doing nothing. That's what somebody said to me the other day. He said to me, Frans, if you've got time, just look at Old Mutual for me, because I am now sick and tired of the share, because I've got it in my portfolio since 2022 and it's only marking time. It doesn't want to go up, but it also doesn't want to drop. And I'm now so negative about the share, and I can understand it, because look at the 40-week moving average. We are trading around this 40-week moving average excuse me, since September, and it just shows you that the share doesn't want to do anything. And what do we do then? Usually when you see a share marking time, you'll probably see that the share is working on a symmetrical triangle. Now, what is a symmetrical triangle? A symmetrical triangle, as we always know, can either break to the upside or it can break to the downside. And if I look at this chart, I mean, since September 22, some of the guys will say, whoa, Frans, what do we see here? Usually, if there's the symmetrical triangle, somebody will say it's a flag formation. They say if it breaks or from the top inside, it will probably break to the downside. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but we know that in 2022, the share was as low as R9.26. So what do we say here? There's the support line that keeps the share going. That's R11.62. If it breaks below R11.62, once again, that simple method that I use, that's the width of the symmetrical triangle. I just do the projection there, and I take that down to there. It can maybe go and test this old low, can you believe it, of around R9.30. And if it breaks to the upside, where can it go? But I'll give you that level now, because I wonder, and that's another thing I just want to say. Sometimes people ask me, Frans, what about this company? I like it or I don't like it. Now, I'll come back to it now. But there's the symmetrical triangle. This will break above R13.03. Let's make it R13. And if it gets to the upward target, it can go to R15.05. And where we are spot on the 40-week moving average, R12.15. And that tells you one thing: it is uncertain. Investors don't know what to do. So if you've got the stock, I mean, remember, you got the dividend. Old Mutual is a dividend payer. And if somebody gets really despondent and they phone me and say, Frans, I hate the stock, I've got the share and it's just going down, the question is always, and even if you want to buy it right at the bottom and you're nervous, the question is always, just put aside the charts for a while and you ask yourself, can this company really go under? Now, if you look at Old Mutual's case, I mean, they've got billions of rands and even dollars under management for pension funds. Yes, the share is boring. Yes, the share doesn't want to go anything, but I really doubt if the share will go under or the company will go under. So for me, yes, it is a long-term play. Yes, it is below the 40-week moving average, but I really doubt if it can go under. So if you've got a long-term view of the company and you've got in your mind to say to yourself, listen, can this company go down or go under? And if that is a no, then you can maybe think about the share and look at the technicals and buy it. And just by the way, where will be the first positive sign on this chart? It's spot on right in the middle of this symmetrical triangle. And can you believe it? That is above 12 Rand and 37. And where's my stop loss? My stop loss will be 11 Rand and 68 cents. But what does this tell you? The share is just hovering around, cannot make up its mind, so you don't need to rush in and do stupid things. Let's have an old stock on, and the reason why I'm asking that is, I mean, this share caught so many people off guard. A lot of people put money in that because it was a brilliant company. Everything was just 100%. Wow, there was this, a falling wedge that I showed earlier. I don't know to whom, maybe on the show, and it just ignored that. It just went one way. Now, the moment I call the share's name out, you will immediately say, yes, it's a dog of the market. And why do I say that? Look at this. I mean, can you believe it that this stock, in one point in time, this share, let's have a look here. Well, it's shocking, but this share was well above 100 Rand. This was one of those favorite stocks that everybody just loved. Look at the stock. Now, the name of the stock is Brait. And I know of people that bought it, and right at the top, maybe, I don't know where, there's the 40-week moving average. It turned into a resistance and it just stays below that. There was a tiny little blip that something is maybe happening here. This was in, can you believe it, in 2018. I mean, the stock was in its heydays 2016. And now it's trading at 1 Rand and 86. Now, why do I show this stock? At least, with all the bad news that this company presented to the market, the stock at least, or the company at least, did not go under. I mean, it was a value trap right from the top. I can remember when they were involved with the gyms and they said they're going to make money and everything is just rosy. But suddenly that turned out to be nervousness and it just sold off. Now let's have a look here. I want to show you, look at this waterfall formation. And at least we had a little tiny little blip here to the top. At least it bounced a little bit. But that doesn't say that it can start to recover, because every time that it bounced, there were people selling the share. But for me, let's have a look. I just want to look at volume. I did not look at volume before, but I just want to check if something has developed here. Yes, there was a spike in volume. And maybe this share, let's just draw that little line in there. I will give you the level now. Maybe this dog of the market will get one day above 1 Rand and 91 cents. And then these buyers, I mean, remember, look at these red spikes. That is somebody sold there, but there was also some buyers there. These buyers will at least be happy, because above 198, they will say to themselves, at least we did buy a proper share and it wants to go up. So for me, ugly chart, waterfall formation, a little bit of a turnaround here, a little bit of a volume here. It doesn't say that it's going to go even lower. It can go lower. But maybe this little dog of the market, we must maybe watch. Remember, this was the stock where Mr. Visser had quite a big you can almost say stake in. And he was involved there, and with the Steinhoff saga and all the things that went bad, this company bought also a company in Europe. I cannot remember the name, right at the top of the retail boom there, overpaid for that. And what happened since then? It was just one way to the downside. But maybe, but just maybe, this share can maybe show us some strength in time to come. And let's just watch this high. Doesn't say it gives you a buying signal, but let's just check it. Maybe on the show, if somebody asks about it again, we can always look at the chart again. Let's have a look at an old favorite of mine, Rand Merchant Bank Holdings. Now, this is a weekly chart, but I want to switch over to a daily chart because this ugly red candle is not a true reflection, because this was actually a chart that you can say that opened up a wonderful fundamental gap. There you are. There you are. And that is on a dividend that was paid out the other day. And remember, this is a daily chart here. So if you look at the chart here, what do we see? Yes, there was a nice payout here. I think it was 25 cents. It opened up a gap, but that same day, there was a candle that someone asked me about, and that was a dragonfly doji candle showing here. Now, what is a dragonfly doji? It tells you the share opened up. There you are. Let's just get the level there. Opened up at 39 cents. That's that horizontal line. It went down as low as 35 cents. It went up as high as 40 cents, and it closed back at 39 cents. But what does that tell you? That tells you on the day that they paid out the dividend, and the chart reflected that there were some keen buyers supporting this 35 cents level. And of course, I like candles and I like gaps. And fundamental gaps is always gaps that struggles to close. Why? Because something actually happened fundamentally in the company. Like in this company's case, what did they do? They paid out the dividend. It showed on the chart. But I've got an idea that these guys that bought the share around here at that 35 cents to 39 cents level is maybe a little bit positive about the company. And if we look at this chart, yes, I will say above 43 cents, it can once again, like in the past, try to close the gap. Above 43 cents, it can really start to work its way all the way up to where? To 63 cents, because that's where the gap closes. That's going to take a lot of hard work, but it tells me that definitely it can happen. So yes, if you want to buy it above 43 cents, maybe 35 cents is a little bit of a big stop loss, but that's the one that you should use. But I will maybe use a tighter one if you're nervous. Let's call it 37 cents. But let's see if Rand Merchant Bank Holdings can maybe close this gap. What I like about this company, remember, they were a big bank, a commercial bank, many years ago. Then they sort of did other things. They changed their business, but now they've got some property commitments and assets that they've got. And it looks like they're also starting to lend out some money. I saw that they lent out some money to a company in Nigeria for infrastructure development. Let's see if that works and works for them. But for me as a technical analyst, I just look at that chart. I like that dragonfly candle. I say these guys are right. Let's just quickly have a look for volume. If I can maybe just quickly have time, because we're running out of time here. If I look at that, oh boy, there's a spike in volume. I love it. The short end of it. I like this chart. I like this volume spike here that took place, but I will only get positive above 43, and maybe if we're lucky, we can see that this chart can close this gap. But I mean, then it will be a wonderful investment. 25 cents in the pocket for the dividend, and the share works its way all the way up to give it back to you. So in actual fact, it's almost a 50-cent swing. But that's early days. We don't know if that's going to happen. I, in actual fact, see that it did close this tiny gap a while back, but that was a tiny, tiny emotional gap. Remember, fundamental gaps always close not that easy. Well, thank you for watching the show. visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info, and we will chat again.